we shouldn't be discouraged at all about Chinese consumption. The future opportunities for consumption in China are huge. I think the media is pretty interesting sometimes because everyone seems to think that consumption is struggling now, but just a couple of years ago, everyone was saying consumption was booming. Everyone was jumping on the bandwagon. Over the years, I found it really puzzling. A lot of people who used to invest in the internet, education, healthcare, or media have all come over to our sector. Many of them base their investment logic on their own consumer experiences, and a lot of people just follow a simple traffic monetization model. When it comes to observing platforms like Taobao, Tmall, and JD.com, I've heard a lot of investors ask me about their data. But the way I see it, these platforms only represent about 15 to 20% of the market. If you look at the market just through that lens, what does it really tell you? It just shows that everyone's perspective is different and everyone's expectations are different, which is why you end up with these kinds of results. Those who focus on monetizing traffic and chasing short-term gains end up being eliminated by the market. That's because in China, there just aren't that many quick wins. Consumption doesn't exist for its own sake. At its core, it's a market built on long-term thinking, and the industry environment is also shaped by this long-term approach. There's no explosive growth, and it's impossible for a winner-takes-all scenario to emerge. Even a powerhouse like Mutai with a market value of over 2 trillion yuan, what can it really do? Its market value is even bigger than the GDP of some places, but can Mutai clear out all the liquor products on the market? We still need trade, and there are still plenty of famous local brands out there. It's not just about Baijiu, there's also beer, wine, and whiskey. So, in the world of consumer goods, there's no such thing as a winner-takes-all rule. Secondly, there's no way to dominate the market like a tyrant. If you try to apply a traffic-driven mindset across borders, thinking you can achieve a winner-takes-all outcome by pouring money into building a so-called brand and chasing explosive growth, just to quickly cash in on the market and treat consumers like easy pickings, it won't work here. If you want to come in and exploit this market for a quick profit, in the end, the market itself is strong and will push back, even turning the tables on you. So, looking at the past, those investors who played the traffic economy game, or tried to invest based on traffic, those so-called shallow investors in this industry, I personally think almost all of them have lost and lost badly. It's the same with these entrepreneurs. They've also ended up in a bad spot. I've met a lot of entrepreneurs like this, but I just can't convince them. They think I'm old-fashioned. Like I mentioned earlier, it's already really hard to get regular consumers to recognize and accept you. If your product or service becomes a standard part of people's lives when they're 20, 30, 40, or 50, that's a huge achievement in itself. How many products actually become a real choice in your daily life? I think that for every brand, there are at most 2 or 3 niche ones. You might use them, but they never become mainstream in your life. They won't be the biggest part of your regular expenses. You just use them occasionally. But when something is only used occasionally, its ceiling is already set. At best, this kind of brand won't last long, and the company behind it definitely won't survive for the long haul. I like to invest in companies that are big, long-lasting, and have staying power. So I think these are the kinds of opportunities for the future, and investing is the same, right? Everyone talks about it, right? Well, I think even though running a business is tough, and small to medium-sized companies will be weeded out, there aren't many opportunities. In this downward cycle, just surviving means you've won. Secondly, there really aren't that many opportunities in the market. So my advice to everyone is, first, don't invest recklessly. If you're thinking about buying some bonds or investing in local government financing vehicles, trusts, or wealth management products, everyone is starting to realize what these really are. I don't recommend doing that, right? At this point, just being able to hold onto your money is already pretty good. Secondly, I also don't recommend individuals to trade stocks. I don't do stocks myself because I think trading stocks is like gambling on a family's fortune. It all ends up the same way. It's just for fun. Trading stocks can't be a real profession because China's stock market is irrational. Even when they win, I think those institutional investors don't really know how they won. And if they lose and end up with a bunch of losses, honestly, they don't really know how they lost either. In a market where you don't even understand winning or losing, the pressure is actually really high. So I think it's better to just spend your money yourself. Trying to make a little bit of money this way is really tough. But I do think that the consumer service industry and technology are 2 directions worth investing in for the future, because you can actually understand the consumer service industry. These are the basic needs of ordinary people. The third category is large enterprises providing essential, high frequency, livelihood technology services, stable companies present in your daily life. They rely on giving me security. This is common sense, as in the future, technology will help China break through the value chain. We need to move up the value chain by taking initiative. Our goal in learning technology is to advance. Only with technological advancements can we improve productivity. Technology is also essential for upgrading our industries and for the overall advancement of our value chain. So when it comes to solid, reliable hard technology, it's worth investing in. Also, technology and consumption are not in conflict. I think consumption provides a huge setting, a wide range of experiences, and a large market for technology. Moreover, because consumption creates many jobs and generates significant tax revenue, it indirectly supports technological innovation, research, and scientific studies. It provides a great deal of financial resources. It's a mutually reinforcing relationship. At the same time, technological advancements like chips, AI, and big data actually empower and drive the development of tech-enabled consumption in return. For example, at Dongpeng, we're grateful to Tencent for inventing WeChat, which allows us to use QR codes for payments. With WeChat Red Packet technology, with technologies like item for code exchange, with the Internet of Things and IoT, we now have all these possibilities. Brought by the Internet, even possibilities in art. Business, after all, is one of the most beautiful forms of human expression. So, in that process, technology really does make our ways of expression even better and more in line with reality, opening up more possibilities. That's why I believe there's a real reason behind technological progress. In this regard, I think everyone agrees that technology and consumption are the two main engines driving China's economic growth. So, I believe there are still plenty of opportunities ahead.